Hi everyone, it's Kathleen Collins again. Welcome back to segment number 2 of my Music and Our Senses program. Again, I'll be playing on my violin for you. Today we're carrying on with our exploration of all the things that make an audience important and ways that we can, as an audience, experience musical performances in a more deep and satisfying way. Now, last time we introduced our 5 senses. Just for review purposes, let's just go through them quickly once more. So we had our eyes for seeing, and our nose for smelling, our mouth for tasting, our ears for hearing, and our hands or the rest of our body for touching. So if you count those up, that would make 5 senses. And we decided in the last time that I was with you that our sense of sight, seeing, and our sense of hearing are the 2 most important senses for you as an audience to be able to use to experience an orchestra or a musical performance, or really a performance of almost any kind. Today we are going to work on our sense of sight. So I want you to be thinking about that, sharpening up your eyes all along the way with me today. So we're going to start out. What I'd like you to do is just have a really good close look at this beautiful instrument called the violin. Let's see all the things that you might be able to notice about it. It's really, really beautiful. Look at that. It's almost like a work of art by itself. So you can twist it around. It is such a special feeling to be able to play on an instrument like this. So what do you think about the violin? Who thinks that they know what the violin might be made out of? What material mostly makes up the violin? If you look at it really carefully, it's quite shiny. That's true. And it's brown colored. Doesn't really look like metal or plastic very much. If you look at it closely, I think you'll decide that it is made out of wood. And actually, it's really interesting. The top part of the violin is made from a different kind of wood than the back of the violin. So the top part of the violin is made from a piece of spruce. Now, spruce is a type of pine tree. So a pine tree, those are like the kind of trees that if you celebrate Christmas, you would probably put in your house, or you might put in your house. You would see Christmas trees around a lot at Christmas time. So that's the kind of tree that a spruce is. Now the back of the violin is made from a piece of wood from a tree called a maple tree. Now a maple tree, if you think about what sometimes you might eat for a special breakfast, pancakes. Now what is that delicious stuff that we pour over our pancakes sometimes? I like to put maple syrup on my pancakes. And maple syrup comes from the sap of a special type of maple tree. That's the same kind of wood. It's from the same family of trees that a violin is made out of on the back. So you can think of Christmas tree on the front and maple syrup on the back. That's kind of a special thing. Now, let's see some of the other things that you might have noticed. What is this black thing, do you think? That's interesting. It's an attachment that I put on my violin. And it's to help me. It's called a shoulder rest. I put this on my shoulder. Then I put my chin on this piece right here. That's called the chin rest. And I can even hold my violin with no hands. Look at that. It's like a special trick. Awesome. Then you might notice this neat thing up here. This is called the scroll. And then we have some pegs to tune things up. How many of you noticed these metal lines that go on here? This is the only metal, really, some of the only metal that's on my instrument. These are called the strings. Now, as part of the string family, all of the string family instruments, the main string family, have these strings, and they're made from wood, and they have approximately the same shape. They're just different sizes. The violin is the smallest of the string family instruments. The other ones are the viola, the cello, which is the instrument that's played sitting down, and the string bass is really big. That one is so big that most of the time people have to stand up to play it, or they might sit on a very tall stool. Now the violin, we talked about these strings. Who can count how many strings are on a violin? Let's do that together. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 strings on a violin. And in fact, there are 4 strings on a viola, 4 strings on a cello, and 4 strings on a string bass. They're just longer and lower sound. So now let's move on to observing the performer performing on the violin, and let's see what you notice. Actually, before we do that, I want you to pay attention to this piece. I'm sure you noticed that it wasn't really just the violin that I was using to play music. I was also utilizing this piece. You might think it looks just like a stick with some sort of white ribbon or something on it. Well, I can loosen this up a little bit, and then you might see more clearly. Oh, look at that. It's kind of individual strands. This is actually the hair of an animal. The piece itself, this is called my bow. It's not just a stick with hair on it, it's called a bow. And the hair comes from a special kind of animal. Can anyone imagine what that animal might be? I'll give you a hint. It's an animal, big animal, that is often found on farms. We have animals like that all over the place. Another hint is that it is an animal that you can ride on. That's awesome too. And this hair comes from its tail. So did anyone guess what that kind of animal is? It's a horse. That's really awesome. So now if you watch when I play, I'm going to play a tune that I'm sure all of you have heard and probably sung before. And I want you to watch carefully what happens, what kind of motions I make when I play. If you want to, you can put your 2 hands up and pretend to play the violin along with me. Great job. I hope you all were playing along with me on your pretend violins. Now, what you can observe is that the performer, the violinist, takes our hand with our bow and we pull the bow across the strings to make a sound. That's how 90% of the time we play the violin. So I'll show you on my low string, you might see the string kind of wiggle around and vibrate a lot. Let's see. Ooh, did you see that string really go? That is so cool. Look at that string vibrate. So what happens is that the horsehair is a little bit sticky and it kind of sticks to the string and pulls it. And then the sound goes into the violin, comes out these holes. I don't know if you noticed these holes too. Those are really pretty and it's kind of shaped like a letter. What kind of letter does this look like to you? If you said S, that's what it looks like to me too, although there is a little line here that maybe you can see, kind of turns those S's into F's. So we call those our F holes. But at any rate, the sound goes into the instrument, swirls around inside the box, and comes out the F holes. And it makes this beautiful sound that you know as the sound of the violin. when we've been playing. So you can learn a lot just by using your eyes and looking and seeing what's happening when somebody is playing the music for you, seeing how the instrument works, what questions you might have about the instrument too. You can think about those if you'd like. For this particular violin was made about 100 years ago. Actually 104 years ago, so it's pretty old. It's been around. It was made in Italy, so it came from a different country. And I've been playing on it ever since I played in the orchestra, which was about 25 years. That's a pretty long time, isn't it? Now, to end this session, I'm going to play that special song, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, or you might call it the ABC song. And if you'd like to sing along with me, you can either sing the words to Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, or you can sing the ABC song, whichever you'd like. Let's all do that together. Great. I sure wish I could hear you too, because I know you probably sung beautifully. Great. So the next time we are together in the next segment, we'll be talking about our sense of hearing and sharpening that up as well. Can't wait to see you again soon.